the Drip and Geeb podcast. I'm your host, Uncle Geeb, and with me is host Everyday Gaming. We record this podcast live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can listen to this podcast on Apple, Spotify, or anywhere you listen to podcasts. You can also become a member of this podcast, get extra podcast content every single month. Drip. What's up, man? How you doing?
Hey, man. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. I did a test with the outro music as the intro this week, and I realized I need to extend that track. It ends
the music part
ends a little too quickly. So yeah.
Well, I didn't hear any of it, but I'm sure it was great. I'm sure it was just absolutely lovely.
I'm going to listen to that and see when we get back in August to our regular scheduled programming. I will see and make an adjustment to the music and everything. But that reminds me, guys, mention really quick, the next 2 weeks of the podcast are going to happen. Next Wednesday and the Wednesday after that are going to be live Wednesday at 8 p.m. as normal, but there's going to be a small difference. Drip is going to be in charge of the streams and uploading the audio and make sure the YouTube is uploading.
Why is everybody so worried about this? I can do it.
Famous last words.
I can do it. It's going to be fine.
So yeah, I'm going to be going on vacation. And normally what we do is either upload a Drip and Jeep Selects episode or do a pre-recorded episode and have it upload while we're gone. But this time, guys, I'm going to be on my phone live with Drip in charge of the stream. And then we're going to do a podcast like that. So it's not going to be sounding or looking the same. I imagine it'll look a little different as well. For the next couple weeks. So just bear with us for any changes of the quality, or maybe it gets better. I don't know. We'll find out. We'll see what happens with that.
From the beach all the time.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so the next couple weeks will be different. Also for members, if you guys are not a member, please do that, because next Tuesday will be a members podcast from the beach. At least I'm on the beach. Drip's going to be watching me at the beach. Probably having.
I'll be here.
I mean, I got a tan right now because we're going for daily walks. But trust me, my tan, I'm going to look like a. You know what they used to call me when I was a kid? Like, I was Italian. I'm Italian, so like I get very dark. But like everyone thought I was from Mexico. I'd be called the Mexican kid, and I'm like, bro, like, I don't. Do I sound like I eat enchiladas every night? Like, no offense, but like, come on, guys. Like, I mean, I sound like a little white boy. Like, come on. But yeah. I like a white boy with an Italian twang, you know?
Oh, God.
Don't cancel me. Speaking of don't cancel me, we have a review of our podcast on Apple Podcasts that we're going to read. And that reminds me as well, tell the people what's going to happen next Wednesday, or the 2 Wednesdays from now. 2
Wednesday, it's not happening, but 2 Wednesdays from now it is happening. We are going to announce the winner of the $50 eShop gift card that you can win by leaving a review over at Apple Podcasts. You got to leave a 5-star review, and if you do that, you are entered to win not only this $50 eShop gift card. If you don't win it, it's fine. You can win the next one, because we're going to do it again after that.
Yeah.
So make sure you get over there, do that, make several accounts, leave lots of 5-star reviews. You can say as mean of things as you want. It doesn't matter. You can call us assholes, whatever you want to do. Just leave a 5-star review, and you could win basically a free video game.
I'm sorry, I had to mention this. Cali Smoke is actually calling me out right now. I'm literally drinking Modelo's right now, which is a Mexican beer. So I mean, I don't really do myself any favors at the moment making that joke.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm very Italian. Trust me. That's funny. But yeah,
the only place you can leave a review is Apple.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Apple Podcast. That's where you're going to win. Yeah, that's where it's got to happen.
That's the only place you're going to win. We do still suggest, if you're listening on a different platform and don't have access to Apple Podcast reviews, still leave a review, because it helps us out. If you like us at all, if you like this podcast still happening and growing, leave us a review wherever you're listening on any platform. But if a special bonus to those of you guys who leave reviews on Apple, because there is a text field, and Apple Podcast is so strong with the the pull as far as the audio side of things, that's where the contest is going to be happening. And we'll do it for YouTube in the future. We've done stuff for YouTube in the past. We'll do stuff for maybe Spotify as well at some point. We'll see how that works. But yeah, moving on to the review of the week. That is going to be from a person who their name is literally Get Back to Work. That is their name. And the review says fire with fire emojis. That's the review. It's fire. And I love that. I love that very much. Even though we don't know who you are, Get Back to Work. You're entered to win the review. So if you win, just let us know. And that goes for anybody leaving the review. If you won and you got a weird name, you have to prove that you were the person who wrote the review, and then you will get the.
Speaking of someone writing a review, Kenny says prepare for the hate mail in the comments for Jeeb.
Oh, because
get it
about the Mexican comment. Yeah.
Yep.
Probably. Yeah.
Oh no!
Listen, I love Mexican people. Okay, I think they're beautiful people, in and out.
Okay.
Especially out. Catch my
Okay.
drift.
Okay.
Listen, I like
What?
me.
I don't catch your drift. I don't.
I like me.
I don't.
I like Mexican women. They're beautiful.
Okay. All right.
Cancel me more.
Yeah,
Let's move
canceled.
on.
You're canceled.
Jesus. I love everyone. Can I say that now? I do love everyone. With this selection, with Dribbly Podcast, Geeb selects a new mouth. So he can stop speaking with the one he has. Okay, let's move on. Live chat's going nuts about my idiotic words. Thank you, guys. Let's move on to the show, because we're doing a whole podcast here. And this week's episode, Drip, is about Zelda, bro. We're gonna get to that in a minute, Drip. First, I gotta find the room where the stuff is at. First, last week we told you guys that last Wednesday, the 10th, Nintendo dropped a weird tweet. A very mysterious tweet with a man wearing a bag over his head. We later learned that in the video, the text was translated to the smiling man. There was Japanese text in the video. It was translated to the smiling man, and the video was called Emio. So now we know, 7 days later, here in the recording of this episode, July 17th, that Emio is, in fact, a Famicom detective game, which... Listen, Drip, I know I have mixed feelings on it because I do enjoy that series of games. I think the story of the ones that I played were really, really good, but the gameplay is just, it's just not great. So if they can make this entry a better version of those games, I think we're all in for a treat, actually.
Okay, well, I got two things. One, the whole horror game thing, as I said last week, I'm just not. You're not gonna get me there. Don't
Well,
care. Don't want that
Drip,
in my house.
Technically, we don't know if this is a horror game or not. So.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Either way, probably not playing it. This is a huge disappointment for a lot of people. I've been looking around the internet today a little bit, just trying to like gauge how the excitement level is at this point, and wow, has it gone down?
I wrote
like a lot.
I wrote slightly disappointing in our notes. It's actually more like incredibly disappointing for a lot of people.
It's incredibly disappointing.
Yeah.
I wasn't even going to play it, and I'm disappointed for everyone else. Because, okay, here's the thing. We saw that last week.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I said I'm not playing it. It's a horror game. I'm not playing that. I got to sleep at night. I'm not trying to do that. I'm not doing it, but everybody else is like, yeah, this is great. Nintendo's going to make a horror game? Like, what? And it is crazy. They've never done anything like that. Yeah. Rated M, scary game from Nintendo, and it looked real. That's the thing. It was like a realistic art style of what they showed us first.
That wasn't. And I told you, but that was a real man. I don't think that.
Yeah, it was a real man. That's what I mean. Okay, yeah. It was real. It was a video. Actually real.
It was not a video game. It was a video.
But whatever, you know what I mean. It was real, like realistic looking. Like, okay, even if it was computer generated, it looked real. Whatever.
Yeah.
My point is, this morning when I was scrolling through Instagram and I saw Nintendo pop up, and I saw that it was another thing on Emio. It was that same guy, and then it just turned into a cartoon character, and was just like, ah! I was like, oh no, I can't believe they did that. Yeah. Like, that is so bad, like so bad.
Yeah,
it's just this is one of those things, and I'm gonna let you take it from here because I really want to hear your opinion on this. This is one of those things, not on the same scale. This is one of those fuck ups from Nintendo in marketing, like the Wii U.
Well, no,
you completely fucked up. No, it's not the level. It is not the level. No, I'm not saying it's the level. But this is completely brain dead. Like, let's show everybody this scary, real thing and say it's M-rated and give them not a thing to go off of except for that.
Well, let's be clear here.
But then it's not even close to that.
Let's be here. I think, let's be here. We are here. Let's be clear. I'm Barack Obama. Let's be clear. I think it's an overreaction. I think everyone's overreacting because the Famicom detective games are not super popular, at least in the States. I know that they're much more popular in Japan. So as far as the States are concerned, there's a lot of people who are concerned and upset. I think that this is going to be an evolution of the series. If they just do a copy paste of the last two Famicom games that came to Switch, I think people have reason to be upset. If this is going to be an evolution, because I want to mention this too, Drip, and I actually have video evidence here. I'm going to pull up on the stream here for everybody to see. If you're
While
watching,
you're pulling that up, I want to shout out
yes,
Clapping Zelda Cheeks just became a Dream Team VIP. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Cali Smoke, appreciate it, man. Thank you for becoming VIP. We'll see you next Tuesday for the members pod, 8 p.m. Eastern. So let's move on to this screenshot here that I have. This is just the Nintendo Store and the Famicom Detective Club game. This is the Famicom Detective. Oh my God, Famicom Detective Club, The Girl Who Stands Behind, and Famicom Detective Club, The Missing Heir. And both of these games are rated for teen. So, Drip, I think it's unfair to immediately assume that these games, the Famicom Detective Club, The Smiling Man, is going to be a disappointment because it's a rated M game. It's still rated M. Nothing has changed there. It's a rated M game. The old two are rated teen. So I really do think there's going to be more. There absolutely will, guaranteed, be more graphic scenes and more scary things in the Smiling Man that weren't in the first two games. I just think the gameplay is kind of meh. So if they can fix the gameplay, which they might, because this is an evolution of the series.
Can you explain the gameplay to me?
I wish I could. I did not finish either game because I did not like the gameplay. The stories were great.
I mean, I look at these and I'm just like, nah,
it was. I think someone described it as a visual novel kind of game, which is an accurate description, I believe.
Okay.
So it's basically just kind of watching the characters kind of go on screen, and you make choices. It's not like Stranger Things. It's not like a that kind of game. It's more of you're playing as a detective, at least in the one game that I played half of it. You play as a detective, and you're going around the city and the town asking questions to people, trying to figure out the murder. And there's a method to it, and if you have to get the method down, and once you get the method down, you kind of progress. It's not great, and if you guys know the games, you know it. If you don't, just know that's not the best game ever unless you absolutely love graphic novels.
Yeah, I mean, there's people who love that stuff. It's not for me.
Yeah.
Price.
Yes, price. So again, the old games, retail price, and there's two of them. They came as a double pack as $50, or you could buy both of them individually for $35. So that's actually awesome because I really do think that The Smiling Man will be a $6 game. I think that's where I think you're wrong about the marketing. I think it was genius. They got everybody in the fucking planet got their attention with the Smiling Man trailer from last week. And now it's going to be the first M-rated game first party from Nintendo. This is the first one. I think there's a high expectation.
It's not. There's more. I think there's more.
Well, which ones?
Didn't we go over that last week?
Yeah, but they're not first. They're just published by Nintendo. They're not made by Nintendo.
Oh yeah, they're like
these are made.
Party.
This is made by Nintendo. If I'm not mistaken, I could be mistaken.
How far are they gonna go? Like, how far are they actually gonna go with this? It's
rated M, dude. It's rated M. What I mean, listen. I don't think we're gonna see penises or anything like that.
Well, that's not what I was asking if you were going to see.
But we're going to see, listen, in the teen-rated game here, this is the Famicom, I can't say that. I'm just going to say The Missing Heir, Famicom. Okay. I can't say that word. I'm sorry.
Famicom.
This teen-rated game has blood, violence, use of tobacco, and language. So there's cursing.
Tobacco.
There's cursing, blood, and violence. So, I mean.
And tobacco.
And that's only teen. So, like, imagine M. I think we're gonna see like murder, like not the implication. We're gonna see murder, like graphic. I think it's gonna be I bet it's gonna go from blood to gore and blood, and it's gonna go graphic violence, and it's gonna say graphic language. So, yeah, it's gonna be more. It's more of what these games were, and they were mysterious, but they weren't scary. That's the thing. This new game, The Smiling Man, I fully expect to be scary. It's not the true horror that everybody talked themselves into believing that's what it was. And to be honest, Nintendo kind of led us that direction. Let's not kid ourselves. But it's not going to be the full-on horror game that they kind of led us to believe.
Yeah.
But it's still going to be, I think, a really cool experience. And I'm very excited to play it. But again, price, Strip. You think it's going to be $60?
Oh, absolutely. There's no question.
Yeah.
I would say this. It's not, what'd you say the other ones were, 40?
35, almost half the price of a full price game.
If it's not 60, it's not 35. It's 50, maybe. And I can tell you right now, no, it's not that. It's 60. And I see in the chat, actually, Megaboyd says, yeah, but Turok on N64 is rated M. I believe, I may be wrong, but I think Turok was made by what was at that point Acclaim. I don't think that's a Nintendo game. It is a Nintendo exclusive, but I do believe Acclaim made that game.
Okay.
I may be wrong.
And again, I'm not a factual source of information all the time, so I mean, I'm not sure if I'm right about that, but I'm pretty sure with like 60% confidence that this is the first Nintendo-made game that they're publishing as well that is M-rated. So I still think it's very exciting, Drip. I mean, are you in on it now because it's not a true horror game?
No, it's probably still gonna be scary.
What a baby! This guy's
I don't need it, man. I don't need it.
Baby. What a baby!
I don't need it.
Do you think?
Why do I need that?
Well, do you? Okay, how about this though? And not I know you're not playing it, but do you think it's going to be more of a horror game or more of a true mystery game?
I think it's going to be a mystery game with elements of horror.
I think you're spot on because that's the series. I believe the series is detective games, meaning there's a mystery to be solved.
Yep, I'm guessing that's exactly what we're going to see.
I think so. So I think here's the thing, guys. I think also the date as well. This is coming out in August. This is soon.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. I mean, they're really not wasting any time with this one.
No, and that, to me, that's actually the bigger disappointment. I wanted this game to be an October release because I wanted to play this game during Halloween. And not that I still couldn't, but the hype is going to be down by that
listen,
point.
man, to some people, it's Halloween season right now. July 5th starts that season, so. Yeah. You didn't know that?
No.
Oh, yeah. Yes, those people are out there.
Who?
You realize there's already Halloween stuff at stores, right? Like you can go to Michael's and like Crafts. Yeah, oh yeah, it's out.
Well, okay. Did you know that I used to work at Kohl's, the retail store, for
I did not
a couple of years? Yeah, I did.
Story time with Geeb.
Yeah, I used to work at Kohl's. I worked in retail. I've been around, bitch. All right, I've been around.
Oh, okay, okay. Call me bitch too. That's fine. It's okay.
Call you a bitch. Okay, well, Anderson Paak. Yes, I worked at Kohl's, and I worked there for a couple season cycles. I think I worked there for 2.5 years, maybe. Actually, that's maybe just 2 years. Anyway, so I've been through the seasons, and I know that like Christmas starts in freaking September, and I know that Thanksgiving starts like in September. I think Thanksgiving starts like a week before Christmas. It's stupid.
I mean,
they're stupid.
I'm sorry. You remember when I put my Christmas tree up last year, right?
Yeah, I know you. You're crazy, man.
I'm usually the day after Halloween, but last year I did it the 1 week exactly before Halloween.
Okay. Well,
I don't know. It's fine. Let people have Halloween now because I take it away from them very early.
I will say Halloween's one of the only holidays I think that you get away with doing it early because it's not really one that gets built up very much. Besides like the week of Halloween, I think it's a little bit built up, but for the most part.
Yeah, it is. Depending.
It does not get the build up like the other ones do is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, well, this game's not coming out then, so hopefully you start your spooky season early.
Yeah, I'm excited. I would love to stream this one. I really would. I mean, it's the first basically a horror game from Nintendo. I mean, I'm very curious.
I mean, I want to see more about it. You know what we could find out some more about this game with is maybe the description from the ESRB.
Oh. What a segue, Drip. That's a really good segue. That's a really good segue to our next segment, guys. Our next segment is about the ESRB. Was it leaked, Drip, or was it just put out there? Like,
it was just put out. It wasn't even a leak.
I didn't search it.
Not a leak.
I just trust our Discord members, which I probably shouldn't. But the Power Mad who sent this to us sent this to us in Discord. It's in our Zelda room. I got to open it up over here because it was he just took a screenshot of his own screen. So you guys about to see Power Mad's full. Oh, this is not where I want it. Oh, god damn it. We're just gonna. Okay, sorry, technical difficulties. We're just going over here. I'm going to read this to you, right? So if you're watching this podcast or listening to this podcast, I will read this to you.
Yeah. So let me just paint this picture real quick.
Sure,
this is the ESRB rating. Okay.
Yeah.
So what that means is, if it's E for everyone, T for teen, the ESRB rates these things, but when they do it, they also have a description of the game.
That's correct.
So we learned some things in the description of the game. Geeb?
That's correct.
Would you like to read that to us?
Yes, this is not a leak, guys. This is real information. Happy Thanksgiving. This is an adventure game in which players assume the role of Zelda as she attempts to dispel rifts throughout Hyrule and rescue Link. From a 3/4 overhead perspective, excuse me, I had to burp, I apologize. Players explore various environments and creatures. As Link, players use a sword and arrows to defeat enemies. Zelda can use a magic wand to summon creatures, example, Wind Up Knights, Pig Soldiers, and Slime, for battle. Some enemies can be defeated by some enemies can be beaten by setting on fire. I said the same thing wrong. Other creatures can dissolve into mist. When defeated, battle sequences are somewhat frantic, with several enemies attacking / fighting at once. Besides my little flub up of words there, that for some reason there's a spell on me that I will not read a perfect paragraph in my life. But that's the full rating, and I want to highlight that little middle part. And I think it's interesting too, Drip. That was the first description of gameplay that they gave. Before Zelda, they say, as Link, players use a sword and arrows to to defeat enemies.
Yeah. So
and then they said Zelda can use a magic wand to summon creatures.
Yeah.
So not only is Link now confirmed to be playable in the ESRB rating, because that's what this is about. They're describing the game to the parents who are making a decision for their kid. So they're telling them, hey, parents, Link is a playable character. He uses a sword and a bow. So if you don't want your kid waggling a sword around and using bows in a video game, then don't buy this for your kid. That's why it's there. So that means they play the game. They know this is in the game.
Correct.
So we know he's there.
Now, we know he's there. Now, okay, I've got lots of ways I want to go with this, because this, for me, is pretty exciting. I think this is big. I am a little worried. Actually, I'm not worried.
Okay.
I mean, it says right here.
Speak your mind, Drip. Speak your mind.
Players use. So he's playable. Like, that wording is very clear. Yeah. Players use a sword. Not. Okay, as Link, players use a sword. That is actually confirmed. He is a playable character. How much is he playable? At first, I was a little worried, like, what if it's just that opening segment? What if it's just that opening part to get you in, and then he falls, and that's it? There's no way. And let me give you my reasoning on that.
Okay.
There's no way they are going to put that type of gameplay into a Zelda game just for a second and then take it completely away and never give it to you again throughout the game. That's ridiculous. Why would they do that? That makes absolutely no sense, to take the time to even talk about it here, to show us what he's going to use. I mean, we saw it in the trailer. That's true. But, like, there's no way that it's just that. So I'm done with that. I thought that at first. I was like, what if it's just that? That sucks. Or maybe he comes back at the end. I don't think that's the case here. I think there's going to be much more than that. I don't really want to get into my crazy stuff just yet. We have a lot more to talk about before we get there.
What do you think? How do you think he's going to be playable? How does your mind change now?
I don't know exactly how it's going to go. I think you are going to be able to play as Link in certain situations. I have a decent idea of how that might be done at this point. But I mean, the question I have is, we saw the wand, right?
Yeah.
They mentioned Zelda's wand in this.
That's all we've seen. And we have gotten tweets from Nintendo following that direct of showing us, or telling us rather, and showing us a couple clips of more gameplay.
Okay, but the wand, the wand is on the D-pad, and it's on the side. There's 3 other spots. She's going to have more stuff, right? I think we're both agree there's going to be more things there, more abilities, more things for her to do.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not talking about her. We're talking about Link. So does that mean that Link's going to have more than the sword and the bow? Is he going to get more stuff too?
Well,
is he going to be limited to just the sword and bow because he's not the main character?
That's a good question. That's actually a really good question. I think, in normal Zelda 2D games, Link gets many weapons and ways to play. That's the whole.
But is Zelda going to get those now, or is that actually going to be Link's thing still?
I wonder. I wonder, man. It's going to be really hard to really kind of pinpoint what this means. It's really just kind of we're shooting into the sky. So if you guys in the live chat have any ideas, feel free to leave them in the live chat. If you're watching this video after the live stream is already over, feel free to write these in the YouTube comments or tweet at us at Geeb on Twitter if you're listening. Everyone's guess is as good as everyone else's guess. Like everyone's guess is good. So I kind of lean still I think it's a pipe dream to think that, oh, that means Link is in the game all the time. I don't think that's the case. I think that they want Zelda to shine. This is Zelda's game. They want her to shine. I think still we play as Link at the beginning of the game, just like when that opening sequence that we see in the trailer, I think is when Link is first playable. And he falls down, and then you play Zelda for a very long time. And I don't know when he comes back, but he does come back and is playable, and is either playable in tandem, like you can choose who to play as, either Link or Zelda, depending on how the story goes.
Okay, I have to tell my thing. Go ahead.
It's like how the game finishes. The game finishes with Link as it always does.
All right.
Because, Drip, it's important to note, this is not a spin-off game. This is a Legend of Zelda game. And in every Legend of Zelda game, Link is the main character. Now, Zelda is, we assume, the main character, but I bet you that she's not. I think she is a playable character where she is featured, but this is not her spinoff. This is still the Legend of Zelda.
No, I think you're wrong. I think you're wrong. You're going to love this. You're going to love this. Okay. I'm going to start with the Twilight Princess theory that I had, okay? But I'm going to go into what I thought about today afterwards, and I think I have a way crazier idea, and I think it's actually probably cooler. Okay, so what I was telling Geeb earlier was, think about Twilight Princess when you have to be, like, you go into certain sections and you have to be Wolf Link. Like, it could be sometimes when you go into certain sections of that place underneath, like the purple area, the underworld or whatever, you have to play as Link because he's there, whatever. He can only go to these places or whatever. And then maybe later in the game, you know, as you can in Twilight Princess, you kind of change and do what you need to do to solve puzzles, which is a decent theory. I don't think they're gonna do it that way though. So here's my new one as I thought about it more, and you tell me what you think about this. I'm gonna compare this. You let me finish the whole thing because I'm gonna compare it to something weird first, but then I'm gonna give you a little bit extra to bring you in.
All right.
Remember Luigi's Mansion 3 when you could play as Gooigi?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I want to take you back to the week we talked about Zelda on this very podcast, and I mentioned that Link on the cover art had that purple stuff around him.
Yeah.
What if, at some point, when you are down there, you get some type of spirit of Link to use with your wand, and you can send him out, but you are stuck where you're at, and you send the little spirit of Link out to go do something, use his bow, use his sword, but you have to stay there. But that's how you solve some of the puzzles. You have to send him in to do this stuff, do all this there, that blah, 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 and then you can go in around. But it's something you summon with your staff, and he's all purple glowy and stuff. Maybe that's how it's done.
That's a really good idea. Like maybe we're overthinking it. Maybe he's just another summon.
Maybe he's one of the things on the D-pad that I was talking about earlier. That's what I'm saying. How do you feel about that?
I don't like that.
Don't like that?
No, I don't. I'm just being honest. I don't. I mean, I'm happy that I get to swing a sword around like I want.
Gooey Link.
Cali smoke. Fire. Oops, wrong one. But yeah, I don't like that because I just think it'd be better if he was a part of the game. I think it'd be sad if he was just banished to the underworld, never to be seen again until the end and beginning. That's just kind of how I feel. That's very Nintendo. It's very Nintendo to do that.
It's very Zelda too.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. I'm not upset. Listen, I'm still very excited about this game. I cannot wait to play this game. I'm just skeptical is all. And not, okay, and I want to be clear, Drip. I want to be clear. I'm not skeptical because Zelda's the main character. I don't want to be like that asshole. I'm not.
I understand.
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I'm not sold on the staff. I think we have examples of Zelda as a playable character in Hyrule Warriors, and in both of those games, I think they implemented it really well. She has fucking magic hands because she's Zelda using the Triforce powers, and she's like Goku shooting power like Dragon Balls, you know, in the Hyrule Warriors games. Why couldn't we get something like that? Why does it have to be a freaking staff?
Like I like the staff
and a staff that, and I would say this, Drip. I wish that okay, fine, you insist on the staff, whatever, but then make the staff shoot stuff. Like you swing the staff, and it's not melee. It's a projectile. You swing the staff, and a projectile goes out. That would even make me happy. But we don't know. We don't know yet exactly how it works. But from what we've seen so far, you swing your staff only to release a bokoblin, or you swing your staff to only place a bed.
But
and
think about this.
That's not like the gameplay that I've come to know for Zelda, and that's silly. That's a feature in Tears of the Kingdom that is the game now in this game, and I don't like that.
We don't know everything clearly. We don't know everything.
That is true.
We did not know that Link was going to be playable. We had no fucking clue. Nintendo didn't say a word about it.
We assumed, you and I.
Now we know that.
Us smart boys, we assumed that. We got it right. Now we know.
Yeah, we said it's definitely possible that he might be in there. Yeah. And I want to shout something else out too. Go back and watch the podcast from last week, everyone. Geeb fucking called Famicom Detective on the last thing we were just talking about. Geeb fucking called that. So give it up for this guy. Give it up for him. Wow.
All my
original
fans,
leaker.
Listen, the Age of Calamity, Hyrule Warriors and Prisoning War is coming, and I've already told you.
I know, we know.
I've already told you that Famicom.
I believe you now. Clearly you have the inside track to this shit.
I am more on top of it than Samus Hunter ever was.
This is true. Okay, back to this. I just wanted to shout that out. Good job. I think that I know you want the projectiles out of the thing. I think it may be something too. Think about it. What if the regular rod is over here? Then you can change. The rod is still on the D-pad. Because that's what I've kind of been figuring out. Like, what the fuck is going to be those other three? One is Link. So you can send him out to fight shit, do whatever, use his bow to hit an eye above a door. And then, that's the thing. You would have to go build stairs for him to get up. But you can't be up there or something. You got to come back down, then send him up. He'll shoot the thing, then you can send him back and then go up and do things like that.
Let's roll Let's roll with that for a second because, Dreb, another good question. Mrs. Geeb said this because she wanted it more than she thinks it's going to happen.
Yeah.
But on our walk earlier when we were doing some pod prep, Mrs. Geeb was with us and she said, 2-player Zelda? And I said,
it ain't happening.
I said, it ain't happening. But what you just said makes a whole lot of sense, Dreb. It could be similar to like how I said earlier on our walk that Cappy in Odyssey, how he's just kind of he's an assistant. What if
like the baby brother?
Yeah,
second player.
So what if the 2-player mode in this game, if there is one, which is a pipe dream, but what if the 2-player mode is Zelda send out a bokoblin, and then the second player 2
is the bokoblin? Cool. Yeah, that's
or you send out Link
little brother style.
Later on in the game, you send out Link, and then the little brother can slash with Link.
Yeah, see, I don't think it's going to be like that. I think whenever you send Link out, you are Link. I think it's going to be a separate thing on the D-pad that'll be like whatever. Left or right is
but yes, as like Cappy in the game, Cappy's not required to 2 players. Cappy is an optional second player. So when you're not playing as 2 players, you are in control of Link. You send out Link, you're in control of it. But if you're playing if you're playing 2-player, like Cappy, Link turns into the Cappy.
But then, like you said, because you want projectiles out of the rod, maybe that's another option on the D-pad later on. And then there's another one where it's like a fucking hook shot to get across things that you can't get across.
Or Link is the hook shot. Like maybe all those original Zelda dungeon things. Like what if Link is just playable throughout the whole game as a double playable character?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
You're like in Hyrule. It's a Hyrule low rule situation where Hyrule is Zelda and you have to go down to low rule. With your wand, you go wee woo woo, and you magically zip down into Link, and now Link's down there fighting for his life, and you get the hook shot down there, you get the bow down there, you get the Master Sword, blah blah blah.
I think honestly, of everything that I've thought about with this game and how he could be playable at this point, I really think honestly he is going to be. I think I'm right. I would put money on it that he's going to be a part of the rod, a spirit that you bring out, and you can use him to help you move forward in places that you couldn't go before or do things that Zelda can't do. He is going to be one of her items.
I think that's a good call.
That's what it's going to be.
That's a good call. I think that's a good call. I'm not going to confirm or deny it. Being the leaker that I am, I can only give you so much.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, you can't give us everything right now.
A good leaker knows when to shut his mouth. I will say this: Hero does not know how to shut his mouth, and he's asking to come on the show.
No, that's for members only pod.
I was going to say, Drip, that
we'll see you
I was
next
going
week.
to kindly decline Hero's request for this podcast, but Hero will get his 5 minutes over on the members pod next Tuesday. So that's going to happen. Make sure you member up. If you got your opinions and you want to share them with your voice, member up. You get an option. Just make sure.
Listen, I do want to talk
Just
about
make sure
that for a second.
if you try anything stupid, number one, it's not to a public audience; it's to just the members. So if you say the N word or something stupid, it don't matter. Don't try to.
Not only are you banned, you're not getting it. You're not doing anything.
You're not going to a big audience. Listen, we're not a big podcast.
Listen, I do want to talk about that for a second since we're on that subject. We'll get back into the Zelda in just a second. Having the members segment and people coming on and that was absolutely amazing. That happens every month from now on. That was great.
Yes, I think what we're gonna do now is let members have a queue, because I think it went a little bit. I think we need to have a queue and have it all set up because it was too long. Next week I can only give you an hour. Next week, unless you want to keep it going after I go, I can't go more than an hour. I'm not.
We'll have a couple people on, and
no offense, but I'm not trying to waste my vacation letting Hero tell me about Zelda.
There he is.
Pod. Hero's a member.
Membered up.
There you go.
Appreciate you.
Gets to open his mouth on the member spot. But yeah, so that's gonna happen next week, guys. The members are gonna come on and explain their opinions on Zelda or whatever you want. If you want to tell us about your favorite PBJ sandwich, you get your 3 minutes, guys. And it was 3. It's not 5. It's 3. Definitely not 5.
Yeah,
it's 3.
Okay, here's the question. Now, we talked about my little theory about it's kind of like a Gooigi situation or like a spirit of Link that comes out and does the thing. It doesn't have to stop there. My idea with that is just what happens up in the overworld, in the regular area. There's still a chance that we actually play as the real Link down below where he's stuck.
Quickly, want to mention, too, Gooigi is a better example all around because Gooigi was also playable as a player, too.
Oh, that's right. See, I'm telling you, man, this is happening. Confirmed.
Not only is Zelda the main character, but Link is playable, so don't fret. And also, it's a player 2 Zelda game. It's 2 players. We're gonna know which of those predictions are going to be correct. One of them, none of them, or all of them.
Every single one of them.
Okay, moving on then. You were
so yeah, I'm wondering if he's actually playable down there and still has some significance down there to do certain things. Like, what if you can go down? Like, there's certain areas where you're down there and you are Link, but let's say Zelda needs to get to a certain place that's down there to fix whatever she's trying to fix with those stuff. Like, let's just say when we talked about this, I had the idea that you're getting pieces of something down there, right?
Right.
To build up more of the triangles.
Yeah.
Maybe there are areas that Zelda can't get to yet, but Link is on the other side. But he happens to have the thing that you need to get through that door. Mm-hmm. So you go play as Link and then kind of work backwards to where Zelda's at to get her to be able to go through the rest of the way to do the other thing that Link can't do on the other side of that.
Because we've mentioned in the past, the Zelda episode we did where we evaluated the trailer, that piece, the low rule, if you will, is pieces of Hyrule that's been removed.
That fell down
it's stuff that fell down into it. So it makes a lot of sense if there's something he needs to do down below to get Zelda across, because the pieces are down there, so he has to do something to help her up top. So that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. I mean, there's a few other things. I don't know. I mean, it's a light week. I don't know, man.
Be more honest, Drip.
I mean, I just don't know what else to say about it. I want to keep going on it, but it's
Twilight Princess theory.
Okay, I did talk about the Twilight Princess thing a little bit, but I mean, I don't even think that's the thing anymore. I did mention that already. About, in Twilight Princess that there's places that you have to be Wolf Link. Like, there may be places you have to be Link.
Yeah.
Or there's like whatever. Maybe it's not Link. Maybe it kind of ties back to what I said. It's not fully Link. It's the spirit of Link. Or whatever. Or like the whatever it has to be to whatever they're going to call it. You know what I mean? To where he's like telepathically whatever. But maybe it is locked. Like in Twilight Princess, you turned into Wolf Link when you went into the Twilight areas. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe you can only use Link down there in certain areas when you go in. And then later on in the game, as you could with Twilight Princess, you can start changing back and forth and doing what you need to do in different places. And then that's when you can bring Link up to the overworld. And then you're really going to open it up. Because, I mean, what if he does have like a hook shot or something like that? Because in 2D games, the hook shot's different. It's not to get up.
Yeah.
It's to get across.
Man, I gotta believe if they're already making this known that this is Zelda's first featured game.
But then that doesn't even make sense because I'm thinking about that now too. Zelda can get across. She can just build shit to get across.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say this. They've already made it very clear that Zelda's a featured character in this game. So Zelda's a playable character, obviously. I kind of lost my train of thought already. What I was gonna say. I think what I'm gonna say, basically, what I was gonna say. Is essentially that they're not leaving Link on his own. I think I've already mentioned this, that this is still a Legend of Zelda game, not a spin-off series. So I think there's no doubt in my mind, no matter what happens in the middle of the beginning of the game, the middle of the game, the end of the game, Zink. Yeah.
Zink and Zelda.
Zink and Zelda. God damn it. Link and Zelda are going to be side by side fighting Ganondorf at the end.
Oh, dude.
No,
imagine that final boss fight. Both of them switching back. And could you imagine how cool that would be?
I'm in this universe. I'm thinking about the game. I'm assuming that there is no switching back and forth. I think they're side by side, and I imagine the final fight going. Okay, here we go. I have a theory. Here's my theory. Listen up. Leaker Geeb. I mean, the beginning of the game, Link is fighting Ganondorf. We saw that already in the trailer. He fails and he falls down, but also so does Ganon, and we don't know. That's a mystery. But at the end of the game, it's going back in time because Zelda loves the time travel. We're going back in time.
Oh.
And Link and Zelda fight him to defeat him where Link failed.
In the same scene.
In the same scene where Link failed on his own. Link and Zelda fight Ganon to defeat him once and for all.
I don't hate the time travel aspect of that.
And there's a lot of Zelda examples out there where Zelda is. I'm not spoiling any games for you guys, but there's
no. We can't do that. We can't do that. No, we can't.
Listen to me, because there's a lot of Zelda games where Zelda is in the final boss battle where you're fighting the last Zelda, where you're fighting the last Ganon fight, where the game is then over after it's over. Zelda's there with a bow, or Zelda's there with an assist of some sort while Link fights Ganondorf. With the bow of light. So I'm not no specific Zelda games because you haven't finished them all, but certain games like that end like that. So this game could be one of those games where Zelda's just there swinging around with her, using magic and shit, and Link is fighting with a sword. Or the opposite. Geeb. You are the magic person playing as Zelda, where Link is unplayable, but he is sitting there. You're helping Link by putting a bed down or placing a lamp.
We can't do any more time travel yet. We fucking can't.
They're just every time, man. It's like they're like they're like Marvel.
You know what that does?
They're
every
like
time
Marvel.
they fucking time travel in Zelda, it just makes the timeline more hard. It's just more hard to understand.
That's the point, Drip. They don't want us to understand the timeline.
All the new Zelda stuff is like really far in the future.
You think Nintendo wants us to understand the timeline? They want us to not have no idea. So first of all, they can make a mistake and not get crucified. But number two, so it's so complicated that they can keep making games in this complicated universe that you'll never figure out. Keep you surprised every time.
No more fucking time travel yet. Let me figure out the last time travel. I haven't even figured that shit out yet.
Hot take, Drip. The Egg Boy comes back from Hyrule. He becomes canon. He becomes canon. He becomes canon. He'd be perfect in the chibi art style. Bring back the egg. Hashtag.
Oh man, you're talking about the little guardian egg from Hyrule Warriors, Age of Calamity.
Correct. If you haven't played Age of Calamity, you're doing yourself a disservice. That story is one of the best Zelda stories that there is, and it's not canon, but they make it canon when the Egg Boy shows up.
Man,
I've been on fire with my predictions recently.
You got some good ones tonight. You got some good ones.
The Switch 2 is coming with a second screen. I'm telling you, we're getting two screens. It's going to be a Wii U. We're getting Hyrule Warriors, The Imprisoning War. We're getting the Egg Boy in Link's, what's his game called? The Echoes of Wisdom. All of this is happening. Every single thing.
Come and get it.
Is that all we got, Drew?
Fuck yeah, man. I love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. All that. Yes, it's happening. You heard it here first, folks. It's fucking happening. No, I don't know.
The show is over, Drip, but the stream has just begun. We're going to get to the episode in a couple minutes here.
Okay. Yeah. Last thing I just want to say on this. I am glad. I was fine with being Zelda's game in the world with a little bit different mechanics. I'm very glad that Link is in this game. I'm okay with more Zelda centered games going forward, but I think they're probably going to do themselves a service to keep Link in this first one to kind of just dip their toes in the water and let people get used to it. And then the next one, the next Zelda game, just let her have it.
That's the
I think this is a good call.
Another prediction right here. That's the evolution of 2D Zelda. Is Link is the 3D playable character and Zelda is the 2D character. I am full of them tonight. Let's go. Let's go.
Oh God. You on another mic? Oh my
I'm on
God.
two.
Okay.
I'm on 2 mics now. I'm on fire drip. I bet you every one of those things is happening and it's all coming true. But for now, we'll just have to wait. It is July 17th, Drip. Where can the people find your video content?
At youtube.com/Drip Media Gaming. Every other place doesn't fucking matter. So don't worry about it.
You can follow him on Twitch too, just so because when he does go live there, it feeds the Geeb sometimes. So go over there.
Yeah.
But as far as we can find me is on Twitch every single week. Next week, we're going to be experimenting because I'm going to be at the beach. We're going to be experimenting with phone streams. That's going to be interesting. We're going to do a live stream on Monday.
I'm very interested to see how that works.
And depending how that live stream on Monday goes, is determining how much I'm going to do it the rest of the trip. So Monday is the experiment night. So make sure to follow me on Twitch for next Monday. The date on that for the people in the future is the 22nd of July. So that's going to be a stream. Hopefully it's an evening stream. If not, it may be just like a whenever I can get time on Monday stream. But yeah, the plan is Mrs. Geeb and I are going to go for a walk on the beach for Mrs. Geeb night while I was live streaming. And Kenny,
that's a good idea.
And Kenny, while
that.
you're here, Kenny, I need your attention. He's my brother. He's going to be at the beach with me too. Bring good earbuds with the best microphone earbuds you got. I'm going to need those because I'm going to try. I'm not going to do the Steam Deck thing. That's too much work. But we're going to do the phone, and I want a good microphone. I know you got all the earbuds in the world. Anyway, we'll talk about all that in the after show. But as far as the episode is concerned, those of you listening on audio platforms or watching this YouTube video, we're going to see you guys. Oh, I already messed up the outro because I forgot that I don't do it in post now. I do it live. So I'm going to redo that outro. Those of you listening on audio platforms, thank you for listening. It's over. And those of you on the video stuff, we're going to see you guys next week.
Later.